Let's be honest. The moment a woman truly chooses a man, something inside her changes. And most men never notice it. Not because the signs aren't there, but because they're quiet, subtle, almost invisible. If you're only looking for loud signals, like compliments or obvious flirting, you'll miss everything. In fact, some of the clearest signs she's already chosen you are the ones that confuse men the most. Because when a woman has emotionally locked onto you, she doesn't always announce it. She protects it. And that's the truth most men never hear. When a woman genuinely sees a man as her man, she enters a strange emotional state. Part excitement, part fear. Excitement because she sees potential with you. Fear because now she has something to lose. And when a woman feels like she has something to lose, she becomes careful, strategic even, not manipulative, just protective of her heart. This is why the signs she has chosen you are never dramatic. They are deeply human, deeply quiet. And once you know how to read them, you will never miss them again. If that's something you need to understand, hit subscribe right now and stay with me all the way to the end. Because the final sign is the one most men never see coming, and by the time they recognize it, it's already been happening for weeks. Let's get into it. Signs number 1. She starts protecting the connection. The final sign a woman has already chosen you is something she rarely says directly. She begins protecting the connection between you and her. Not loudly, not in a possessive way, but in small, quiet decisions that reveal where her loyalty is starting to form. When other men approach her, her energy feels different. The openness she once had with everyone slowly disappears. Conversations stay polite, but they never go deeper. Her attention drifts back to you, even when you're not standing next to her. The philosopher Aristotle wrote, "The whole is greater than the sum of its parts." What she is protecting is not just you, it is the whole that the two of you are beginning to become. She feels that something is being built, and she refuses to let anything outside threaten it before it has even had the chance to fully form. Because once a woman has emotionally chosen a man, the idea of entertaining others begins to feel unnecessary. Her focus narrows. Her curiosity about other options fades. And this is something many men miss completely. They assume attraction is proven through big declarations, dramatic flirting, or obvious confessions. But real emotional choice is quieter than that. It shows up in priorities. In the way she makes time for you. In the way she defends you when you're not around. In the way her eyes search for you first in a crowded room. Those are the moments that reveal the truth. Not what she says, but what she silently chooses, again and again, when no one is watching. This final sign is visible only to the man paying close attention. But to see it clearly, you first need to understand the sign that comes just before it. The one that happens behind closed doors, in the private, unguarded version of herself she almost never shows the world. Signs number 2. She lets you see the unfiltered version of her. When a woman has truly chosen you, the mask she shows the rest of the world slowly begins to fall away around you. And this is one of the most powerful signs a man can ever witness, yet many men overlook it entirely because they're expecting romance to look dramatic, glamorous, or exciting all the time. But real emotional attachment doesn't look like constant excitement. It looks like comfort. A woman who hasn't chosen you, yet shows you a polished version of herself. The version she shows the world, confident, composed, attractive, controlled. She laughs at the right moments. She keeps certain thoughts to herself. She avoids revealing anything that might make her seem imperfect. Because in the early stages, everyone wants to be seen in the best possible light. But once a woman begins to emotionally trust a man, something shifts inside her. She starts letting you see the unfiltered version of who she is. Not all at once, slowly. Maybe she shares a story about a mistake she made in the past. Maybe she talks about something that hurt her deeply. Maybe she admits an insecurity she rarely tells anyone. The psychologist Brené Brown wrote, "Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome." When a woman shows you her vulnerability, she is doing exactly that, showing up without armor, without guarantee, without knowing for certain how you will respond. That takes more courage than most men ever realize. And these moments are incredibly revealing because vulnerability is one of the most expensive emotional currencies a woman has. She doesn't spend it casually. She spends it where she feels safe. So when she begins showing you these unguarded pieces of herself, it means she has already made a quiet decision about you. She believes you are someone who won't weaponize her honesty. She believes you are someone who won't judge her harshly when she isn't perfect. Think about what that really means. A woman who feels emotionally safe with a man doesn't constantly measure her words. She doesn't rehearse every sentence before speaking. She relaxes. Her laughter becomes more natural. Her conversations become more open. Her personality becomes more playful, sometimes even a little strange in ways she would never show in public. That strange, authentic version of her, the one that jokes differently, thinks differently, sometimes even reveals her fears, that's the real person she hides from the world. And when she lets you see that version, it means she trusts you with something incredibly valuable. Her authenticity. But most men don't realize, when a woman shows vulnerability, she is also observing how you handle it. Do you listen carefully, or do you dismiss it? Do you respect her honesty, or do you joke about it in a way that makes her regret opening up? Because in those small moments, she is silently deciding something enormous. She's deciding whether her heart is safe in your presence. If you respond with patience, understanding, and emotional maturity, her trust deepens quickly. And when that trust deepens, her investment in you becomes real. Not casual interest, not temporary attraction, real emotional attachment. Before she reaches that level of openness, though, there is one test she runs first. A test most men fail not because they are weak, but simply because they don't know it's happening. Signs number 3. She pulls back to test your emotional stability. When a woman has already chosen you, she eventually does something that confuses almost every man who experiences it. She pulls back. Not dramatically, not in a way that looks like rejection, but in a quiet, subtle shift that suddenly makes her feel a little less available than before. And most men panic when this happens. They assume they did something wrong. They assume she's losing interest. They assume another man has appeared. But very often, none of those things are true. What's actually happening is psychological. When a woman begins feeling deeply connected to a man, a natural fear appears inside her mind. The fear of becoming emotionally dependent on someone who could hurt her. So before she lets herself fall deeper, she watches one more thing. Your emotional stability. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is precisely what she is testing. She is not testing whether you love her. She is testing whether your inner world is stable enough to not be destroyed by her outer behavior. Maybe she responds a little slower than usual. Maybe she seems slightly less expressive for a few days. Maybe she stops initiating conversations as often. To a man who doesn't understand female psychology, it feels like the connection is fading. But to her, it's a test of something incredibly important. She's watching a reaction. Do you stay calm, or do you suddenly become needy? Do you remain confident in yourself, or do you start chasing her attention with urgency? Because the truth is this. A woman feels safest with a man whose emotional state isn't controlled by her behavior. Think about that for a moment. If every small shift in her energy causes you to panic, she subconsciously realizes something. She realizes she holds too much emotional control over you. And strangely enough, that makes her trust you less. Not because she dislikes you, but because emotional dependence signals instability. But when a man remains steady, when he continues living his life confidently, even during her momentary distance, something remarkable happens inside her mind. Her respect for him increases. She sees that he values her, but he doesn't lose himself because of her. And that balance is extremely attractive. It tells her that this man has his own center, his own purpose, his own life that doesn't collapse just because a woman temporarily steps back. And ironically, the calmer you remain during this phase, the faster she moves closer again. Because now her biggest fear begins to dissolve. The fear that loving you would mean losing control of her emotional safety. Once she sees that you are stable, that you don't react with desperation or insecurity, her warmth returns. Her effort returns. Sometimes even stronger than before. Because now the energy feels different. More genuine, more relaxed, more emotionally open. She has learned something important about you. You are not a man who needs her to feel complete. You are a man who chooses her while already being whole. Before she ran that test, though, she was already watching you closely, quietly gathering evidence, building a picture of you that went far beyond your words and deeper than anything you intentionally showed her. Signs number 4. She starts rooting for your growth. When a woman has already chosen you, the way she reacts to your life begins to change in ways most men never recognize. Because once you matter to her, your success becomes emotionally personal to her. Not in a controlling way, but in a quieter, more revealing way. She starts caring about the direction you're moving. She pays attention to your goals. She remembers small details you mentioned weeks ago, the project you were working on, the problem you were trying to solve, the thing you said you wanted to improve about yourself. And then, at some unexpected moment, she brings it up again. Did that situation at work ever get better? How's that thing you were trying to start going? The psychologist Viktor Frankl wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." A woman who starts tracking your why, who remembers your mission and asks about your progress, has already decided that your direction matters to her. She is not just enjoying your company. She is evaluating whether she could walk beside you as you move forward. Because a woman who hasn't chosen you, yet doesn't invest mental energy remembering the details of your journey. She might enjoy your presence, laugh with you, even flirt with you, but your personal progress isn't something she emotionally attaches herself to. That kind of attention is reserved for the man she sees as meaningful in her future. When a woman begins rooting for your growth, she's no longer just observing you as a man she finds interesting. She's evaluating you as a man she could build a life beside. And this is where another subtle shift appears. She starts encouraging you in ways that feel strangely sincere. Not exaggerated praise, not empty compliments, real encouragement. She believes in your potential before you even realize how closely she's been watching. A woman who has chosen you doesn't only admire your strengths. She also notices your weaknesses, your doubts, the moments when you're uncertain about yourself. But instead of judging those moments, she becomes curious about how you handle them. Does this man grow, or does he collapse? Does he take responsibility, or does he blame the world? Because emotional attraction for women isn't built only on what a man has achieved. It's built on the direction he's moving. When she sees a man consistently moving forward, even when things are difficult, her respect for him deepens in a powerful way. Respect is the quiet engine behind long-term attraction. Without it, feelings fade. With it, feelings become stronger over time. So when she notices you making progress, even small progress, something shifts inside her. She begins to feel proud of you. Not in a loud or obvious way. Often she won't even say it directly. But you'll hear it in the tone of her voice. The warmth when she asks about your life. The way she celebrates small victories that most people overlook. Because in her mind, those victories matter. They're evidence of the man she believes you are becoming. And before any of this rooting, any of this encouragement, any of this quiet investment began, there was something earlier. Something that started before she ever said a meaningful word to you. Something that revealed she had already begun choosing you long before either of you realized it. Signs number 5. She watches you more than she talks to you. This is the first clear sign she's already chosen you, and it's the one most men misunderstand completely. She begins watching you more than she talks to you. A woman who hasn't chosen you, yet talks to many men the same way. Casual conversations, friendly energy, surface-level interest. But when she's emotionally invested in one specific man, her behavior shifts from talking to observing. She studies you not in an obvious way. It's quieter than that. She pays attention to the way you react to things. How you treat strangers. What makes you laugh. What annoys you. Whether your actions match your words. Because once a woman is considering you seriously, she begins asking one silent question over and over again in her mind. Is this man safe for my heart? The psychologist John Bowlby, founder of attachment theory, wrote, "The propensity to make strong emotional bonds to particular individuals is a basic component of human nature. Before a woman forms that bond, she gathers evidence. She observes. She builds a case, not to judge you but to trust you. Every moment she watches is a moment she is deciding whether you are someone worth opening to." Safety for a woman isn't just about protection. It's about emotional consistency, predictability, the feeling that the man she's watching isn't pretending. So while you think she's being distant, she might actually be paying more attention to you than anyone else in the room. She notices things you don't realize you're doing. Revealing your patience when things go wrong. The way you react when someone disrespects you. Whether you stay calm under pressure or crumble when challenged. These small moments build a psychological picture in her mind, a blueprint of the man you really are. And here's the strange part. The more she likes you, the quieter she may become. Because once a woman feels emotionally exposed, she doesn't rush forward.
She slows down.
She becomes careful with her words, careful with her energy. Almost like someone holding something fragile. This is why many men accidentally push a woman away during this phase. They assume her quiet observation means she's losing interest. So they start chasing harder, talking more, trying to impress. But from her perspective, that sudden shift feels forced. What she was watching for was calm confidence, emotional stability, a man comfortable enough with himself that he doesn't need to prove anything. And when she sees that something powerful happens, her guard lowers. Not completely, not yet, but enough for her to start letting small pieces of herself appear around you. Little laughs she doesn't show others. Personal opinions she usually keeps quiet. Tiny glimpses of vulnerability. Most men miss these signals because they're expecting fireworks. But real emotional investment doesn't start with fireworks. It starts with attention. And if you pay close enough attention yourself, you'll begin to notice something subtle. When she enters a room, her eyes don't scan for everyone. They find you first. That quiet search, that involuntary turning of attention, is where the choice has already been made. Long before the words arrive. Long before she ever says a thing. So here's the question this video leaves you with. Think about the woman in your life right now. Which of these signs have you already seen? The quiet observation. The way she roots for your progress. The moment she pulled back, and you either stayed steady or panicked. The small, unguarded pieces of herself she began sharing with you. The way her energy changes when other men are around. Because the truth is, a woman will choose you long before she tells you. And once you learn to read the quiet signs, you realize the decision was never sudden. It was building, slowly, in every small moment she chose to stay in your orbit. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these signs are you seeing right now? Tell me honestly in the comments below. I read every single one, and I will personally reach out to some of you because your story matters and this conversation deserves to be real. And if this video opened your eyes even a little, like it, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, and subscribe if you haven't already. Because we go deep on exactly these kinds of truths every single week. Because she may never say it out loud, but her behavior already has. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It genuinely means everything to me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.